I tune in to see it, you got to get a Facebook page, or how do it work?
I imagine so. Matter of fact, you're talking on it right now because I just went on and you're answering the question. So somebody called Oscar and explained to him how to get on Facebook.
That's right.
Because, you know, Josh does everything for me, man. That boy's a whip. I saw him the other day do a syllabus and curriculum for his father-in-law at the colleges he's teaching at. And Dr. Baker has not been using modern technology. He's still a legal pad man. And man, Judge got down the other night and worked that thing so good and got it all set up for him. Oh man, that Josh is a whip. He is a whip.
I'm telling you, Doc, we gotta hold him down. They're gonna be trying to sweep him from up under you, boy.
Okay, listen up there, Facebook. We're gonna go to the lesson in about 9 minutes. Right now, I'm just having a friendly chat with Brother Oscar. I call him Superman because I've seen him go through so many things that if he wasn't a Superman, he would not be alive. He's had enough on him to have 18 nervous breakdowns, but so somehow or another, Oscar has hung in there. He's kept the faith. Many times Satan has tried to drive him away, but he found a way to hang in there, so I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jesus. It's all for the grace of God and the good shepherd.
Right here. You're a
good shepherd.
All right.
Yeah, God bless you. And whenever you need me, just give me a call.
All right. Who else I got out there? Tag in and let me know. I saw Denise McClure down in Birmingham, Alabama. Who do I have here in Detroit? Do I have anybody else in Detroit?
Get the message back too.
All right, Oscar. You take care, buddy.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Okay, buddy. Okay. All right. Thank you, Juanita Morton. Thank you so much. My goodness. How about that? I'm just wondering, are you from the Morton family that Michael Williams married into? And let me be one of the, whatever you call them men that stand up there. But we had a great, great night that night at the big Catholic church on Warren. Yeah, we had a great, great night. And Miss Smith is walking in. She's one of those people who has that strong faith. She believed that, she can walk on them fiery corns and not burn her feet, all that kind of stuff. She has tremendous faith. Tremendous faith. I have to pray every day, Lord, please increase my faith. Because I'm like Peter. Before I step out on the water, I have to ask him, is it you? And then tell him to give me direct orders. If it's you, bid me come today. Mike Williams from Oklahoma, a young man that I met in my heyday, I guess you'll call it, Mike. That's when I was doing 30, 40 revivals a year commonly. And there in Fort Worth, Texas would be a real, real big one for 11 years. And Mike was there in the Air Force. And Mike would come every night. And a lot of time he would be the only, non-Negro in there. I hate racial descriptions of all kind. I hate that black and that African thing, as well as white. I don't think nobody's white, but all black. Those are adjectives. Those are not nouns. And people ought to be whatever their nearest ancestor they can go back to. So I always say I'm a Negro from the African continent, Nigeria. All right, but thank you. Thank you, Mike Williams, for tuning in. We're going to get started shortly. Got 5 more minutes. If you want to be looking up some scriptures Why don't you look up scriptures on suffering? I think everybody will admit that we are suffering. And we are indeed out of our comfort zone because nobody's in charge of this thing. Nobody's in charge of this thing. I never hoped so hard for Trump to be right when he said we was going back Christmas. Oh, Lord, I wanted Trump to be right. I may have never wanted to be right about anything else, but I surely wanted him to be right about that. For one thing, I need a haircut. My girl Delilah, can you imagine letting a lady cut your hair named Delilah, like Samson and Delilah? And watch this, she has a private studio. Just the one chair, you get your 1 hour. And of course, time I get in the chair, I fall asleep. I wake up my hour later, all neat, clean, and ready. But she cannot get caught cutting hair. And there's so many people jealous of her that even if she got over here to do it, there's too many people here know it might tell they saw her coming in the building or something. But there's no need in her taking that risk. I've been woolly head before. I didn't get a haircut for 7 years one time. And I enjoyed it. But now that I'm 68, it ain't so enjoyable not being fresh. All right, Yolanda Russian and Sister Ali Marie. Now, those are two strong pillars of New Bethel Church. Sister Ali Marie is a lady responsible for me being able to stay here at the death of Reverend C.L. Franklin. Reverend Franklin died on July 27th. And of course, the next Sunday, church was jam packed. Everybody wanted to know what was going to happen. And so I had asked in coming that at Reverend Franklin's death, there would be no ceremony, no flag waving, nothing to do but me just be the lone pastor. That we would be co-pastoring together. That means both of us at the same time. And when one of us died, we'd be back to a single pastor. And Reverend Franklin did die. And Sister Marie got up and let the church know that I was the lone pastor now, that I had been pastor all along, but now I was the lone pastor. I put an agreement that Franklin's death would mean it was axiomatic that I was the lone pastor. No motions, no ritual to go through or anything like that. All that had been taken care of because in my first church, I got my first church when I was 17, and I didn't have that quite straight in there. The pastor who literally put me in, just as Reverend Hartley literally put me in this church, and every church I had, young preachers, was never a church I contested for, but some old preacher who I carried his overcoat, his briefcase, who I went and got his breakfast at the convention at a time when blacks couldn't eat anywhere. And sometimes we'd be at a center where you had to walk 6 and 7 blocks to find one of them soul food things with a styrofoam plate of grits and eggs. And I would walk back and forth and get those all morning sometime. But that's how I got in New Bethel and all my other churches. Every church I contested for, I put in the resume I didn't get. But God knows best. God knows best. He has done what was necessary to hold me in the faith. God cared more about me staying in the faith than anything that I would call success. You know, I never had that 10,000 seat arena or that 40,000 members or nothing like that. There was a time in New Bethel we were running 11 and 1,200. There was a time in my church in Alabama we could only hold about 400, and we would have 3 to 4 services a Sunday, trying to accommodate everybody. but those days are long gone. I do hope that it come back something similar before I go on. So I'm sure hoping not to go in the next 30 days. I really am. All right, well, it's 7 o'clock and it's time to start the lesson. Thank you, Miss Miller. Thank you, Sister Howard, my Barbara's mother. And thank you, Edward Teacher Montana McLean. Thank you, Lindsay Bride, Miss Brown. All right, we got a little train going here. We got a little train. Call somebody, share with somebody. All right, I want to start off talking about a very unpopular subject. I want to start off talking about suffering. And my major point is that when you suffer, God suffers with you. There was a blues singer who used to sing, when something hurts you, it hurt me too. Well, I want you to know God is that same way. Whenever a child of God hurts too. He says in Isaiah 1, where shall I strike you? If I strike you anymore, you still just rebel more. You're bruised from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet, but you won't do nothing but rebel. You just hurt me. God weeps with us. His sorrow is with us. He has not limited himself to undo things. He has not limited himself to uh, what he can and can't do. He's still the sovereign God. And I have to often remind people that don't like to be reminded that the Hebrew boys and Daniel are in the Old Testament as great miracles because that's what they are. The average person was eaten by the lions. The average person was burned up in the fire furnace. Just on these rare occasions, God, Daniel said in 4:35, God is decisive. God has already decided my tomorrow. Now, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to be as faithful as I can today. I'm going to speak to everybody I can speak to. Matter of fact, I've been on the phone most of the day. I hate calling people at night now because it's so hard to get to sleep because we've slept most of the day. So call people, call your sister, call your brother. I'm, in pain for sisters and brothers not speaking after a funeral. I'm in pain for sisters and brothers who have just, I don't know, just cut each other off. Mama who've cut daughters off, sons who've cut daddies off. Don't die in the wilderness. Don't die being stupid. Just don't do it. Remember, when you hurt, God hurt with you. And it is not faith when you simply react to what other people do to decide how you're going to do. Your decision is already made. Reverend Franklin used to sing that song, I'm gonna treat everybody right. I'm gonna treat everybody right. I'm gonna treat everybody right until I die. Now that ought to be your resolve. That ought to be your resolve. You ought not to go to work. Well, if you're going to work, you might not be going to work no more. But you ought not to go nowhere tomorrow waiting to pull the trigger based on how somebody treats you. You need to be ready to treat them right. You can't treat everybody the same, but you can treat everybody right. And your reaction should not be because of their action. It should be because what you've resolved inside of yourself when God saved you. Now, there's a very, very good book that I want to share with you. And let's see here. I'm trying to see which way this thing is going here. Oh, wow, Edward. I need you to get this book in the middle for me. Okay, that's almost it. That's about close as I'm going to get. When God Weeps. And it's by two wonderful, wonderful people, man and a lady. The lady's been in the wheelchair 3/3 of her life. Well, not 3/3, but let's say 2/3 of her life. But since a teenager, at church, playing with kids, fell off the deck where they deliver goods at and became paralyzed the rest of her life. And she spent all that time searching as to why it happened to her. And along came Brother Stevens. And Brother Stevens got with her. They spent 2 or 3 years talking about it. And this is the results. I've purchased about 5 or 6 of them and given to people in great pain. And you'll do good to get this book and just read some of the things out of it sometime. Well, I need to tell you this. Jesus never glorified illness. Jesus never eulogized pain and suffering. So I'm not telling you God wants you to suffer, but I am telling you you are going to suffer if you're in this world, and especially if you are a child of God, because you're not only going to have uh, punitive suffering, you're going to have redemptive suffering. When the book says, "He maketh me to lie down," that's not volunteer. That's not volunteer. He leads me in the right path, not for my name, but for His name. When He's doing all these things, and we are tussling and wrestling and want to go the other way, it calls us to have to give up. And people used to say, sometimes you gotta take, yeah, the wrong for the right. Just let a person do you any kind of way and pretend you didn't even notice it. One of the things that won Muhammad Ali so many fights, he made his stomach so tough. He made his stomach so tough that when men would hit him in the stomach, he could ask, "Is that the best lick you got?" And it really shook the man because he had let him hit him with his best lick and then act like he didn't feel it or notice it. When people be, disking you or whatever, because kind of good thing today. But I've spoke to people that I know was not going to speak, but I never stop walking. Just, "Good morning, how are you?" And just keep right on going. Never even wait for them to say nothing smart or to notice that they didn't answer at all. But keep that in mind, that nobody's saying you just got to suffer, 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 and that makes you a child of God. You're not going to go to heaven because you suffered. Um, you drunk that Bacardi rum or that J&B Scotch or that Jack Daniels. I used to drink it. Terrible drink. Thank God I didn't burn my kidneys up before He stopped me. And you burn your kidneys up or your liver, then you can't blame God for that. You stay out all night long, partying and drinking and running to a telegram post or something. You can't blame God for that. But there's some natural suffering going to come. Watch this. This is our emblem. This is our sign as Christians. It is not a couch. It's not a Learjet. It's not a Rolls Royce. It's not a great cloth of some kind. No, the cross. Because Jesus said, to be His disciple, you got to first deny yourself. Take up your cross and follow Him. And some of us know that denial can be a hard thing. Denial can be a hard thing. I got to get out of here and get out of here quick, because if I don't, I'm going to wind up 50 pounds heavier. I'm going to wind up diabetes flaring up. And that's the last thing that I want in any kind of way, is to have to take them shots every morning. But I do know if I stay from grits, some potatoes, some white breads, if I stay from rice, if I stay from fried food, I stay from pop, And I put in at least 90 minutes a day at the gym, walking up and down in the pool. My sugar and blood pressure going to be so good, and I don't even have to take the medicine. Just that exercise and eating right will keep it right for you. So I'm praying that I hurry up and get out of here, or that my wife go on this plan with me so it's not here for me to be tempted by. But that's just a sacrifice that she's going to have to learn to make. You can't make it for nobody. But remember, the cross, not comfort. Deny yourself. Don't have everything you want because you want it like you want it. I know that's good popular preaching, and I wish I could preach that so I could have more people. The governor had Brother Dion Williams to call me the other day, and she was sitting there getting ready to have a conference, and he told me that somehow or another I'd been out the loop, not getting the emails or text messages for their, monthly meetings or weekly meetings. But she wanted me to, close down. And so that's exactly what I had to do is go ahead, close it down. You got to respect your leader. You got to respect your leader, even if it is Donald Trump. He just make it so hard because he has so many of the same things that's supposed to be truth, but they're so different from each other. He has a truth that fits on both the left hand and the right hand, just all according. But listen, deny yourself, take up your cross, so that you can follow the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I'm glad to have Regina Manuel joining in. Thank you so much, and all of you out there. That is wonderful. Let's get on down here. God's plan. Now, this is God's plan, not God's A plan, not God's B plan, just God's plan. My son is another person of great faith. He live or die on this is what I believe, this is what I want. And a lot of times I ask him when he's planning something, I said, now, what's the B plan in case this doesn't work? He said, there's no B plan. That's why you don't have one. He said, that's like planning for it to fail. I thought, okay, well, that's good faith. That's good faith. Well, God doesn't have an A or B plan. Here's God's plan. In this world ye shall have trials and tribulation. Here's God's plan. You're going to suffer. Here's God's plan. Just like Moses, Elijah, just like Peter, Paul. Here's God's plan. You're not exempt. You might like to be exempt because you pay tithe or because you've been in that same church 50 years. You'd like to be exempt. Every Sunday, people run to preachers that promise them exemption. Here's the end of your suffering. 2020, double vision, double blessings. This is going to be your year. You remember all those watch night sermons and all those watch night services back in January where everybody was promised double for the year because you had 2020 vision. You're going to see your way clear. Your blessings right there waiting on you. You just got to walk up, pick it up, and keep right on going. So I don't know. That's not God's plan. That's all I can say. That's not the way God set things up from the very beginning. God's plan is specific. My wife always tells me I can't say that word, and every time I get ready to say it, then I know she's right, and it makes me say it real wrong. But anyway, God's plan is not an at random thing. It's not a thing where he takes a water hose and skeet it and see who it falls on. Or he sets some up, turn his back, see how we come out. No, he said in every life, that's you. In every life, that's you. You know the Bible inside out, upside down. In every life, you don't smoke, you don't drink, you breathe filtered air, you drink bottled water, you don't eat red meat, you're vegan, But in every life, some rain must fall. Yes, it is. It's a sad thing when I see vegetarian friends of mine and others come down with cancer anyway. My mother was one of the strict adherents to proper diet. She introduced me to books like Right Food, Right Remedy. She introduced me to books like uh, The Garden of Eden, the diet that they had in the garden. And anytime you talk, she could tell you why you need to eat some cinnamon, why you need to eat some alfalfa or whatever, just she always had something for you to eat to make things better. But she died just like everybody else. Uh, she went on down, got weaker and weaker and weaker till she couldn't stand up no more. We would have to stand her up, and I would hate it so bad. I did not want to see my mother being stood up, her clothes being taken off, being washed up, greased down and put back in the bed. I asked the Lord, please be kind to her, Father. Be kind. Be kind. Let her go forward. As a matter of fact, I told the hospital no resuscitation and no traching. And I've told my family the same thing over and over. Uh, if I get the corona, I don't want to be trached. I don't want to be ventilated. When I stop breathing on my own, let me be gone. I got a really good place. Waiting on me. Much better than this place I'm in. Much, much better, because this whole thing is weighing me down. I have to really struggle to get up, especially the lower eyes. Said the hard it is to get up. So if I stop breathing, I just want that to be it. No tracheing and ventilating. I think everybody ought to get that straight. So you take that burden off your family. Has to turn off the ventilator or not. All right. God does not aim a hose in Earth's direction and see who's going to get wet. God is not a hands-off God. God is directly involved in your life. You may feel far away from God because you got your life so crowded with junk you can't see him, but that doesn't mean he's not there. The things that happen to you today, God had them planned. You think it was an accident. You think it was an accident that you ran into old so-and-so. You think it was an accident that you had to try to find a dress because the cleaner's closed and you can't get your clothes out the cleaner. You think it's some kind of accident. But God has planned your life decisively, and he is interwoven in your life. You got to recognize his presence and know that he's there by taking comfort. Now, Job didn't tell God about sobbing nothing. What he told God was, God, prove to me that you are aware and you care. That's all I want to know. I don't mind suffering. But I need to know that you are aware and you care. And that's all we want to know. It's just like when we were down south and you skint your knee. Man, if you ran to mom and mama kissed it, that was it, man. I don't care how deep that cut was. It wasn't hurting no more. Once mama knew that you were hurt, you didn't have nothing to worry about. If you can make it back to mama with that cut or that tack that's stuck in your feet or whatever, because mama knew and made everything all right. All right, in God's wisdom and love, every trial in a Christian's life is ordained from eternity past. Did you hear me? That's why you don't have to worry about your destiny. And people can't tell you about your destiny. God said it. Tells Jeremiah, before I place you in your mother's womb, I ordain you for this mission. So all the things that are going on in your life now, God has planned it. He so ordained it. My wife, who's also what I call a great preacher, she doesn't call herself that. That's not popular with a lot of ladies. So she doesn't use it, but she does preach and preach very, very well. But anyway, she told in one of her addresses the other year, I think this sermon was called My plan, God's decision, or something like that. But she told about my plan was to marry a tall, dark, handsome man. And of course, everybody looked over at me and said, oh, well. And that was her plan. But listen, when she was born, she was already mine. I met her when she was 10 years old. I was 12. I came from Pensacola, Florida to Bethel, Alabama to do a revival. And her mother, I can't say she was that crazy about me, but her mother really loved me. My God, that woman loved me. And I knew that marrying her daughter would be good because her mother took such good care of her children. I really can't stand a sorry mother that don't take care of their children. All right, Mo, you've joined us there. I don't think I see another new name there, but anyway, thank you for being out there, everybody. And let's see, we got Betty Nelson, we got Calvin made up his mind. We got Keith Smith, Sharon Jones. Oh, Gail, how you doing, Gail Vickers? Bless you, bless you. Remember, call somebody, share with somebody, um, put it all around. Somebody's trying to tell me how to put it on public, but I don't know how to do it. So I looked everywhere and all over, and I never did get it. But Betty, if you just call your friends and tell them whichever sites you're on, you can get us on Edward Teach Montana McLean. You can get us on Robert Smith Jr. You can get us on the Bethel Baptist Church, 8430 CL Franklin Boulevard. But anyway, and I'm going to try to be ready for Zoom next week. I just got off of a conference with my mission board. I don't like to call it foreign mission. I've asked the president to officially rename it World Mission, but things move so slow in the religious community. He's agreed with it for 6 or 7 months, but never has taken an official action to make it World Mission because God told us that go into all the world. He said go into all the foreign places. When you say somebody's foreign, that's just saying they're different from me. They're not of the same. Well, all of us are children of God by right of creation. There's no person here that the devil created. God created every human being, and every human being is a child of God by right of creation. So please remember that and let people know. All right, where are we here? I was telling you that from eternity past, God set out your destiny. Uh, he made you for eternal goods. He he wants you to believe that nothing happens by accident, not even tragedy. Nothing happens by accident. It is all there for the salvation of our souls. It's all there to keep us in line with trying, once you commit your life to Christ, everything that happens to you keeps you in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Everything that happened. Every time you get ready to get off the road, he closes it, and you have to go down the right road. And I thank God for that. I thank God for that. Well, I'm about ready to let you go, but let me give you the core of God's plan. God's number one thing, Sharon and Betty and uh, Gayla, is to rescue us from our sin. I don't know why God has not let me destroy myself. I have people in shock when I say I have alcoholics in my family, people who died from it, people who've been alcohol poisoned 2 or 3 times. And they said, what? I thought it was all preachers in your family. Hey, it's a whole lot of preachers in the family and a whole lot of everything else. Whenever you have a whole lot of children, you don't get great variety. And so my granddaddy on my daddy's side had 14 at home. And then, my daddy had 10 of us. And, just everything is in the family. Whatever you can think of is in there. But God has protected me from myself. So many times I should have been in jail. So many times I should have been killed. So many times I took terrible risks just believing in myself. Uh, my daddy, if he's guilty of anything, it's just making me believe in myself. I got a little 9-year-old in Georgia now. Worry about him because he'll tell me in a minute, Papa, I can do anything. I said, don't do anything. He said, yeah, I can jump from this balcony. I said, no, don't do anything, please. And I have to keep him tempered down all the time. So I would hope that um, you believe in yourself, feel good about yourself, and realize that God's purpose is to rescue you from your sin. And secondly, what God cares about teaching us is to hate sin, especially our sin. I know how messed up I am now. I hate the sin that got me in this shape. If I had taken better care of myself, oh my Lord, who I could have been right now. But the problem is I didn't take good care of myself. I had a lot of fun messing up. And, when you're in your 20s and 30s, messing up is a lot of fun for some reason. But when you get in them late 50s and 60s, it's going to catch up with you. It's going to catch up with you. But God wants you to hate sin, especially your sin. He wants you to grow up spiritually. And he wants you to love him. It's not his great plan to just make us comfortable. He wants you to grow up spiritually. He wants you to love him. He wants you to hate your sin and all sins. And he's rescuing you. Remember, since the fall in the garden, you needed rescuing. And he's trying to rescue you every day. Even sorrow we taste. Even sorrow we taste will prove one day to be the best thing that could have happened. Can I get a witness there? If y'all could tag in some kind of way, a blank, a wink, or something. Oh, thank you. Because if indeed you know and understand that you've been through some things, you thought it was the worst thing, and it turned out to be the best thing that could have happened to you. The tragedies in my life has kept me married, kept me um, in the church. I probably would have, if I'd have gotten everything the way I wanted, I probably wouldn't have been married, not at least to the same woman. And I probably wouldn't have been in church no more. Wouldn't have been trying to pastor and argue with people about roof problems. Gosh, I have roof problems. Don't get a flat roof, please. Air condition problems, all that kind of stuff. But God kept me, so I have to be there. He made it. No matter what my investments did, how long they went well, sooner or later the balloon popped. They build back up again, the balloon pop again. I've just gotten so I don't even look now. I just let it go on to that day when I have to go and cash in and see what I got left for barrier policy. Probably won't be a whole lot of dividends there. All right, well, I'm going to say good night. I'm going to pray with you. Hello, Latasha. Hello, Sister White. All right, Crystal White. All right, Adesha. All right. All right, Brother Brown Jr. Yeah. All right. Well, y'all get in touch with me now. Y'all get in touch with me and find a way to be supportive. Our Father God, we love you. We trust you. We believe you for all things. Give us direction and protection. In Jesus' name, amen. Good night.